I just level up the stage. Go! Levier.
All right, I'm here. All right, welcome to the What's Your Question podcast. I'm on the hunt for the most powerful questions that'll give me the most powerful changes in my life and the lives of others. So what's your question?
I got champion DNA. Turn my worries into plays. I don't fold, I'm not a pig. I just level up the stage. I got champion DNA.
Welcome to another episode of What's Your Question podcast, where I'm on the hunt for 52 of the most powerful questions to help me in my life and the lives of others. And I'm going to be the guinea pig. Last week's question was, it was from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People for number 1. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and that was be proactive. Take responsibility for your life and actions. And they talk about, somebody was talking about radical accountability. Now, when they were saying responsible for your life and actions, right? It's not just your actions and life. You see what I'm saying? Because he was saying if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time and something happened, guess what? The reason that happened to you, right, was because you made a choice to be at that place. You see what I'm saying? So if that's the case, then it's trying to move you from like victimhood, right, to being a victim to being a victor. Okay, all right, so look, this was a question. Okay, I'm going to go back to the question of last week. I thought it was a good question. I mean, it seemed like a good question to me. All right, last week's question. Let me get into this thing now. Hold on, wait a minute. Wait 1 minute. Last week's question was about productivity, right? Being proactive. Last week's question was, why does being proactive get me out of fear of missing out on my future good opportunities and focus on the great? And then what happened was the AI rephrased the question, because I was trying to put why up in there. Just trying to use the who, what, when, where, why, stat like that. It says, hey, look, we're not going to use why. We got to use, how does being proactive free me from chasing every good opportunity so I can fully commit to the few great ones? And that was a good question. That's a good question last week. That was a good question. And so what I did is that I started asking myself questions. What I instituted at work was the 4 quarters of the day. I was listening to a podcast. I don't know what this guy's name was, but he said that he breaks his 1 day up into 2 days. So he tricks his mind into thinking, I'm doing 2 days worth of work in 1 day. So he breaks it up like that and fools it. So I said, man, if he could do that, why can't I do that? So I decided to break my day up into 90-minute segments, 4 quarters of the day. So I set my timer so every 90 minutes, well, that's something about 90 minutes. Maybe it was in one thing, but every 90 minutes, I get a chance to reset. I told some coworkers at work, man, because they was basketball fans. They said, yeah, you know what? I said, at the end of the quarter, what happened? Then you go back to the bench, they regroup, they look at, hey, how do we execute then? What can we do going into this next quarter? Breaking my day up into a quarter like that, I'm gamifying it. See what I'm saying? I'm gamifying it. This is a game. It's got to be a game. It's got to be a game, man. It can't be so serious. It's got to be a game. Okay, so this is what I did. That's what I did. And I ran through it a couple of times because what I wanted to do was, I still had that. I'm still trying to get over that FOMO. But coming up on this question, your boy got something else. I got something else that came up, right? It came up. Okay, so that's what I was doing last week about being proactive, is just, here's an example, not being reactive, meaning that I'm planning ahead of time, not catastrophizing, but I'm planning ahead of time in these 90-minute segments. Okay, for this next 90 minutes, What am I going to do? What's the one thing that I could accomplish in this next 90 minutes would keep me on track for the day? And it's tough, right? Because I still had that FOMO in. I still ain't got it out, but I got my time block, but I hadn't been protecting my time block. I hadn't been protecting my time block, because things have been popping up, things have been going on. Now I'm trying to settle back into a groove, and I think this next question gonna help me. So that helped me to that point. Now I got my quarter set up. And each one of them, and I find myself getting off this, trying to get into conversations. And then I had to say, man, you know what? 90 seconds, man. You ain't got nothing but like 50 more minutes left. You know, out of 90, you down to 50, you down to 5, you down to 8 minutes, stuff like that. So that was kind of sorting out, coming through everything that I was doing, right? So here, let me go ahead and see where I was. Missing out on many future good opportunities. Now, one of the things I did, because I wanted to purify my file, and I was sitting there, and I was making one of these phone calls. I said, look, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make this one. It was a customer. It was his birthday. Hadn't talked to him in probably 5 years. I said, I'm gonna purify this out. He gonna come out of here. So I said, let me just, here's the deal. I wanted to text because text was easy, but guess what? Friday was go for no Fridays. So I said, hey, you know what? Actually, it was go for no Thursday. I had scooted it back, right? But I said, you know what? I'm gonna make the call because that's where the fear is. The fear is in making the call. So I said, let me go and make the call. Make the call. Boom, boom, boom. Nothing happened, right? Hang up. I said, let's stay with it. Go ahead and shoot the text. So I shot the text. About 5 minutes later, the young cat called me back, right? So we talking and talking and talking. And you know what he said? He said something very peculiar. He said, I remember the last time that I talked to you, you didn't sound so light-hearted. You didn't sound, it's a lightness to your voice, a funness. That's what he was saying. I said, man, because I'm on a quest, on the 52 questions, this is where I'm at. So we just talked. I was relaxed because I was relaxed in it. Back in the past, I was trying to check a box. But if I'm operating from abundance, then I got time to chit chat. Because this is important. This is important. It's on my way, on my mission. So I got time to chit chat. My wife always told me that. Hey, why'd you rush that person off the phone? Huh? I heard how you rushed them off the phone. Why you just, it's their birthday. Why don't you just go ahead and chill with them a little bit, right? Why you chill with them? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to check that box off. That's what I was trying to do, right? But anyway, I chilled with him. Talked to him probably about 30 minutes. Got to really know him real good. I was like, man, you know what? We may be able to put something together. We may be able to put something because he said he's in some type of, I still ain't looked at his website yet, but to help people transition their business, not just happen to have two customers right now trying to transition their business and they don't know what to do. They're trying to figure it out, right? So guess what? I'm a connector now. I'm a connector. We're gonna connect it up. And I had to tell myself, bro, I'm coming from abundance. Because the other part of me was like, man, so what I'm gonna get out the deal? I'm gonna get a finder's fee or something like that. I was thinking, right? I said, no, man, we just connected. We just gonna connect it. See what happens, right? It's just gonna do what it's gonna do, right? All right, this week's question. That's enough recapping. Now we go into this week's question. This week's question, because this coming from the 7 habits of highly effective people. And those 7 habits are, number 1, be proactive. Let's take responsibility for your life and actions. Number 2, begin with the end in mind. Define clear goals and outcomes. Number 3, put first things first. Prioritize tasks based on importance rather than urgency. Number 4, think win-win, right? Seek mutual beneficial solutions in relationships. Number 5, seek first to understand them, then to be understood. Now, I know when I went through this the last time, that was tight. That's tight. These 4 agreements, the guy was saying, man, because I got the expanded version, man. When we get into that, that's seek first to understand, then to be understood. That's powerful stuff. Whenever we get to that question, that's going to be powerful stuff. Synergize, collaborate effectively with others to achieve better results. And then sharpen the saw. That's a good one. Engage in continuous self-improvement and renewal in all areas of life. That's good. I hadn't touched this, man. I hadn't looked at this, man, in probably 10 years, maybe 15. But this is good stuff. I remember when this is real. This is still legitimate. It's still legitimate. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get into question number 2. Question number 2 for this week is, ladies and gentlemen, drum roll. I said dissect the question, and the question was, what does begin with the end in mind mean to me in getting out of FOMO or FOMU, fear of missing up? And I asked for it to transcend that question, right? Because that's what I came up with, right? That's what I was thinking. FOMO's fear of missing out, but I said, man, it's got to be something else. Because fear of missing out, I got too many undid projects, right? It can't be all fear of missing out on something. Then the other one's fear of missing up. FOMU, right? Who knew? FOMU. Is it French? I don't know. I don't know if it's French or not. But anyway. So FOMU, right? Begin with the end in mind means before I react to the pressure of the moment, I mentally step into the future and ask, what kind of person am I becoming and what result am I trying to create? And see, that's what we're trying to do. We understand now. I understand, man, that if you could take time out of the equation, time is the food of stress. My boy Grant Cardone said, man, don't give it time, man. Feel love to eat on some time. The more time you give it, the bigger and stronger it get. He said, man, I don't give it no time. When I see Phil pop up, man, I'm like David and Goliath, man. I'm after it. That's what Grant said. Now, hey, Grant, hey, look, I ran towards some stuff, man. I grabbed my smooth stones. I ran towards some, but some of them I'm still sitting back and I'm giving it too much time. Most of it in delegation, most of it's gonna be in, that fear of messing up, that ego's in there chilling, right? It's in there chilling, but we're gonna address that. I think this is gonna address that. I kind of scanned through it, you know what I'm saying? But we're gonna address that. The anatomy of the question, what does begin with the end in mind mean to me? I'm making this personal. The way I phrased the question, I made it personal because it said, how does this principle become part of my operating system? It matters because wisdom does not transform you until it becomes personal. So I can have it all up here, but if I ain't putting the action in, the action is what solidifies the new identity. You remember back in that other question, man, that was good too. That was good. That action solidifies the new identity. So if I want to, even if I'm faking until I make it, the action is solidifying the identity. That's the deal. So my wife put this together. She let me listen to this guy. I think his name is Peter Sage, and he was talking about, you probably heard this, that your life is your own movie, right? You are the star of your own movie. And everybody else is a supporting cast. So what kind of movie are you going to write for yourself? What kind of roles are you going to be playing in the movie? You see what I'm saying? We get to choose that. I know one thing I used to tell my son a long time ago on a similar ground, because he's an artist, right? I say, look, why don't you draw your own character out? Why don't you draw your life out the way you want it to be? Draw it out. You got magic in the pen. But sometimes people, we have a gift, right? But we take it for granted because we always had it. We don't see the true power of it. You know what I'm saying? Or really execute that power to a high level. We know we on surface level. I'm on surface. He's drawing on surface level, right? But hey, what if he knew? And it's an anime out. It was called Naruto. This guy was on that, and he had the pen. Whatever he drew, that's what came out. He needed a lion. He drew a lion. If he needed this, he drew that. All of them had something that was within them that they could use to build a life with. And we got the same stuff. We got the same stuff. We just got to start using it to build our lives with. And that's why I'm digging into these 52 questions. Okay. All right. The question forces you to stop borrowing someone else's definition of success and start defining your own definition of success. I think that's the key. FOMO says I might be missing something good, but beginning with the end in mind says I'm not here to catch everything. I'm here to build something specific. And then we could go off on a tangent and say, hey, what specifically am I here to build? Because it could be a million, it could be a billion things. But my tendency should be moving me for what I'm building specifically, right? It should be my North Star. I should be drawn to it. But a lot of times we're drawn to it and people say, man, look, I'm looking at the Joneses over there, man, they rocking. They rocking over there. And now my flesh and the logic say, man, I should maybe go over there. That's what it say, right? FOMO keeps you scanning the world for options. Purpose keeps you focused on your mission, but you got to have a mission, right? Got to have a mission. I think one of our previous questions we worked on mission. If not, guess what? I'm pretty sure over the next 20 some questions, right? Oh, it's 52 divided by 2, 26, 25 questions. Because we're in July. Should have about 20 some more questions coming. Ooh, boy, it's a strong question coming up, man. When I finish it, I wanted to bring it in this week, but I couldn't bring it in because I really wanted to come in and finish out these 7 habits, is what I wanted to finish. That's what I wanted to finish. Okay. End in mind thinking asks, what am I building? Or FUBU, fear of missing up, right? FUMU is slightly different than FOMO. I'm missing out on the opportunity. FUMU says, I captured the opportunity, but I'm messing it up. You ever been there? You got an opportunity that you've been looking for, but you're scared to jump on it because you're scared you're going to mess it up. Yeah. How many of those you're scared you're going to mess it up? And guess what? Guess what, man? That's the thing. That's the thing. Man, I got the opportunity right there. I got it, right? Let's say that this opportunity was to turn this light on, right? I got the opportunity to shine this light. That's a good metaphor, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. To shine this light, right? I got the opportunity. So I was fearing, this is what I was saying. I was fearing I was going to miss out on the opportunity to shine the light. So now that I got the opportunity to shine the light, now the FOMO comes in, fear on messing up the opportunity to shine the light. Hey, maybe I may drop it. Maybe the battery may fall out. Maybe I may crack it. Maybe I may look stupid. Maybe I won't be able to hold it right. I don't know, right? So what happens is that from the full moon comes in, I don't shine the light. So that's the paradox, right? I was scared I was gonna mess up shining the light, but then I don't shine it. So isn't that the same as messing up shining the light? Cause the light still ain't shining. This deep stuff, right? The thing you're trying to protect. Oh yeah, I seen that. I was watching Red One with the Rock in it, right? And this guy said, man, hey, look, man, why you not in your son's life? He said, man, I just don't want him, I ain't want to hurt him by being in his life and I'm not stable and I can't be there all the time. You know, I was trying to protect his feelings. And the guy said, hey, that didn't work. So you might as well be in his life because you being out of his life, he hurt. So you might as well be in his life and take a chance that he may or may not be hurt. So that's the best odds is to go ahead and go with it. Go for the no, baby. That right there, they hit home now, baby. We gotta let our light shine, baby. We gotta let it shine. What if I choose wrong? What if I mess it? What if I choose wrong? What if I mess it up? What if I embarrass myself? Yeah. But beginning with the end in mind said, and I don't care, man. I know that, right? But when they call you to stand up in front of your peers, right? You be like, gosh, man. Now I want to notice something too, man. It only matters to me when I think that the person can tell Because we think that people can tell when we mess up. I know when I used to give speeches and stuff like that, that's the first thing they used to say. People say, I don't know what you're going to say. You can say something, man, and they don't have the script. Ain't no script. They ain't sitting there reading. But when you say, oh, man, I messed that up, and we start over, now they know. But otherwise, you just keep going, man. You just keep flowing. Because they don't know. But when you get amongst your peers and they kind of know, you think, oh man, they're gonna be judged. I gotta come out sharp. I gotta come out tight. So they feel good. Man, it was up in me Friday, man. Let's go for those Fridays, man. They say, hey, look, I need y'all to do a walk. Now this, I normally don't. I'm gonna start looking at it more often, but I normally don't be in a lot of group texts and chats. But I need to because it's for work. But sometimes I get in and get to playing games and stuff like that. Then I don't like it. But I just looked at it that day. I said, go for no Friday. Let me check this out. Oh, she finna pick somebody. And just one thing I know is that FOMO, fear missing out or fear missing up. I'm started right here with the end in mind. And I didn't even know I was gonna do this because we had already went over it. But I said, look, let me just go ahead and start brushing up on it. Let's brush up on it. I mean, I had everybody read it now. I said, let's brush up on it. So I jump in, I'm brushing up. I said, at least I'm gonna be halfway prepared. I'm gonna have something. I'm gonna jump in. How can I brush up? I'm gonna jump in with my AI, man. AI is there to help. There's no excuse, man. There's no excuse not to have the answers to be prepared. There's no excuse, baby. Guess what I'm saying? So I jumped in with the AI. I'm learning. Woo, we getting in there. I'm still sitting there. I'm somewhat prepared. I'm still in there learning, right? And they go through the thing. They finna pick out some folks. I'm like, hard, just boom, 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 boom. I'm saying, man, I'm just talking, right? But in my mind, they be saying like, oh yeah, this is a veteran. They've been here this long. They should be perfect. They should be this. They should be that. That's all running in your head because that's what they showing, right? That's what they showing, right? But in my mind, I'm thinking, man, I'm an imposter sometime, right? That's what I'm saying. But anyway, they didn't call on me. But then, I was relieved, right? I was relieved. I said, man, they didn't call on. They called on those guys. So I can help those guys out. And so those guys, they did what they wanted to do. And then the boss man was out there, and the boss man said, they called him. Come on up here and show us. I said, oh, there you go. I said, I do it. I said, man, I was off the hook. How you gonna call it a third party? But I had already prepared for some stuff, right? So I kind of went through just nice and casual, just kind of went through. But that's the deal, man. It's still gonna beat in there because of all those years of being programmed in the mind, all those years back there is still in there. The stronghold that need to be pulled down. What makes this question so powerful? This question is powerful because it gives you and your mind a high command center. I feel pressure, I react. If I'm at the high command center, I feel pressure, but I choose according to who I am becoming. But we set the tone. We gotta know where we're going. Just like a trip. We're going on vacation. You remember? We going on vacation. You remember back then? The other questions we had, me and my daughter going on vacation, we could treat every situation like a vacation. And the vacation always started with the end in mind. We going to Savannah. That's right. Then we're going to work our way back. That's good stuff. That's good stuff, man. That's one thing stuff, too. That's the one thing. Goal setting to the now. That's what it is. Okay. Different levels of conscience. FOMO and FOMU are usually caused by a lack of a strong internal filter. When you do not know your end, everything feels urgent. Every lead, every opportunity, every opinion, every possible mistake feels like it defines you. But when your end is clear, I can say, this may be good, but it's not my great. They may be urgent, but it's not aligned with what I'm trying to do. They may be risky, but it's a part of becoming who I said I will become. I'm going to take the risk. It's a calculated risk. This question is powerful because it changed the center of my life from fear to design, and everybody want to be designing. Everybody want to be designing. The identity shift hidden inside the question. The old identity says, I am someone trying not to miss out, not to mess up, or to keep up with all the pressure. But the new identity, what we're carving out. I'm a person who chooses from my end, not from my fear. I'm going to begin with the end in mind. This is the core identity. Architect, not a chaser. Chaser acts, what is everybody else doing? What if I lose this? What if I get behind? What if I make the wrong decision? I ain't doing that. I want to be an architect. What am I building? What the final picture look like? What does the highest version of me do next? This guy was saying on the same thing. This Peter Sage guy, pretty tight guy. I signed up for his book. I'm gonna listen to that. I'm gonna glean some wisdom out of that. I'm gonna share that with you as well too. But he was saying sometimes you got to kind of go with the flow. He said if you're in the river of life, right, and then it takes a wrong turn, instead of trying to fight the current, he said you should pause and say, what's my next best step? Because I can't fight this current. What's my next best step? I'm going to go with the flow, and I'm going to put all my effort into the next best step, because I can't go backwards. I can't change the past, right? That decision has already been made. So how can I do my next best step and pour all my energy into that? I like that. I did. I liked it. I like this guy, man. This guy was pretty tight. I don't say. I liked it. How does help me transcend that normal human thinking? Now, when I say transcend normal human thinking or leapfrogging levels of consciousness, this is how I reframe it. I'm not becoming superhuman by not making mistakes. I'm becoming more effective by thinking from a higher level than the emotion that is attacking me. Stimulus, emotion, reaction. Now, he always said in between stimulus, he said in between stimulus and response, or stimulus and reaction, there's a gap. And that gap where we can exercise our liberty, our power in the gap. But also in the gap with us is emotion. And that's the thing he said initially, right? This thing put it in there. Because inside that gap, man, you ain't by yourself in the gap. Now, we trying to widen the gap up. And so even though we buy more time by taking more deep breaths and eating Snickers, but if we buy more time, also the emotions are in the gap. Now, we don't want to get a gap too much time, because also guess what's inside the gap? Fear's in the gap too. Fear and emotions in the gap, man, they 2-on-1. That's 2-on-1. So I can't give it too much time in there, but I gotta have a gap. And that's we work. We working on this mental jujitsu in the gap, where we fighting fear and emotion and time in the gap. Be nice if I could just make time stand still. See, I could do that, man. Up here, begin with the end in mind. I can make time stand still, because I could go and say, hey, look, the next time I'm in this future gap, I could work out in 1,000 mental gaps and refine that thing. And just like in the Bible, the time stood still while they completed the battle. It didn't keep ticking. He prayed, let the time stay still. Give us enough time to finish this thing off. That's good. That's good. I think. I ain't think. Hey, that stuff be going good. I ain't gonna say. I ain't gonna lie. Right? Ain't gonna lie. All right. High level thinking. Stimulus, Paul. This is how they did it. Because I'm just saying all this stuff is in the gap. So you got your stimulus. They say what else is in the gap is pausing, end vision, identity choice, and then you respond. That pause is where your power lives. We just went over that. Okay, let's see what this says about it. Let's see what it says. Most people ask, what do I feel like doing? A high level thinker asks, what future am I creating? Most people ask, what if I miss out? High level thinker says, what am I willing to miss because my mission matters more? What kind of person do I become by responding with courage, correction, and integrity? I stopped playing the game. This is how you leapfrog, bro. You stop playing the game. You stop playing the game at that level, the level of fear. I start playing the game at the level of abundance, courage. That's what the guy, he was saying the other day, man. He wanted to get out of the rat race. He said he tired of playing the game. He said, bro, you're playing the wrong game. He playing the wrong game, man. We can stop playing this game, man. Go to another stadium. We can go to another stadium, man. Because guess what? I own the stadium. I own the stadium. Is that right? I'm the owner? Got me thinking now, right? The practical meaning of beginning with the end in mind for FOMO and FOMU. Beginning with the end in mind means I decide who I'm becoming before fear tells me who to be. What is the end I'm committed to? What would the highest version of me do even if I could not guarantee a perfect outcome? I can't guarantee a perfect outcome, but what would the highest version of me do? I still do it to the best. I'm thinking about like 30 projects. Think about 30. 30, man. Some of them got to go, man. Hopefully it's a new cat, man. We looking for the new shiny thing, right? So hopefully this new thing, GTD, remember the acronym, get things done. We're going to dive off into that. We already in it. I don't need to chase every new lead right now because I might lose a deal. That's for FOMO. This is me if I was using it at work. But if I call a past customer and say something wrong, the relationship that I was trying to build, I just destroyed it. But guess what, bro? Here it is. I didn't do it on purpose. It's the best. I did. This is from the 4 agreements. I did my best. If the relationship got destroyed, guess what? I've had some relationships get destroyed, man. It took me 10 years to build them back, right? But they weren't really destroyed. They were just damaged. They were just damaged. Okay, here we go. For this next hour, I'm not missing out on anything. I'm building the future version of my business. So I'm going to protect my time block. I'm going to carve out an hour and protect it. And that's going to be my honor file purification. That's my hour of power right there. They make my time block sacred, man. That's from the one thing. And I'm a relationship builder, not a panic chaser. Jeez. And decision making. What if I make the wrong decision? The end is not never being wrong. The end is to become decisive, wise, humble person who can choose, learn, adjust, and keep moving. That was a lot. I'm about to I'm about to go over that again because there was a lot in this. The end is not never being wrong. The end is to become a decisive, wise, but yet humble person who can choose. I can learn, I can adjust, and I can keep moving. I'm not paralyzed. This removes the pressure of perfection. And I'm gonna have to do some action after that. I'm gonna have to do some action in order to solidify this new identity. I'm gonna have to do some action. I'm gonna have to put this into action today. Everybody else is eating this. I don't want to miss out. Let me get some of that cake, man. I turned down some cake the other day. I gave it to the other guy, but I had it. I said, man, I ain't gonna eat that. That's unknown. But the reason I turned it down, man, because I had the known right there, boy. That boy had the known right here. I know what the no is right here. I said no to that unknown right there. That's funny. That's funny. Okay. What would my future self thank me for eating today? I'm finna go up and tear down on this salad. In my family life, I need to be everywhere, do everything, say yes to everybody. Not today. At the end of my life, I want to know I was present, loving, grounded, and not controlled by pressure. It's a strong statement. That's strong too. That's strong too, man. 5-step daily protocol. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's dive into this 5-step. I don't know how many minutes I've been going, but we're going to keep going. Name the end. At the end of the day, what would make me proud? Okay, I'm choosing the outcome. How will I know I arrived? I'm going to pick it beforehand. I want to finish the day knowing I protected my follow-up block. I handled pressure calmly, and I made decisions from courage instead of fear. Okay, that's good. I'm going to name the identity. Who do I need to be to create that end? Today, I am focused, decisive, I'm patient, and I'm proactive. Step 3, name the threat. Okay, where will FOMO or FOMU try to pull me off track? New leads, new manager, new pressure, overthinking calls, fear of bothering previous customers. Those are the examples. What do I do when fear shows up? I will pause, breathe, check my end. I will choose the next aligned action and then execute. Number 5, name the win. What is the one action that proves I live from my end today? I completed my on file follow-up block before reacting to everything else. I could, I, maybe I'd do that. I could do that. I could do that, man. I could do that. I think one of the things is instead of setting it, I think my time block is too big for right now. And the one thing is say I should shrink it down. If I can't do an hour, let's do 30 minutes. If I can't do 30 minutes, do 15 minutes. I should be able to do 15 minutes. I waste 15 minutes on a walk. Maybe I just walk outside and crank that out. Okay, then number 8, the power phrase to use when FOMO hits. I'm not missing out. I'm narrowing in. I'm focusing in. Because FOMO makes focus feel like loss, but focus is not loss. Focus is how I build greatness. I can miss the opportunity to build a great identity. I did. I chose. Every opportunity is not my assignment. Every open door is not my door. Every urgent thing is not my mission. I was doing it today. My wife was doing something up there. Man, she left some meat out or something. Oh, man, I left some meat out. I normally go in there, I'd say something. Nope. My wife was cooking eggs or something like that. And then the eggs were sticking all in the pan. I started to reach for a pan. No, man, I had to stop myself on that. She did about 4 or 5 times. Because you know when your wife says something, man, the men want to jump in and try to solve the problem. Man, no, bruh. I've been keeping that thing crunched down. That I ain't got to solve everything. If it's not towards my mission, it ain't towards my mission. That's what I'm saying. The phrase I use when FOMO hits, I do not need to be perfect. I need to be aligned. The goal is not to be mistake-free living. The goal is principle-centered living is what it is. The highest version of this question is this. What end is so meaningful that FOMO loses its grip? And what identity is so strong that FOMO no longer controls my decision? This is the question. Because now I'm dealing with both fears. I'm dealing with FOMO, I might miss something. I'm dealing with FOMU, I might mess that something up. That's the deal, right? So you see what I've been battling. I know some of y'all out there, y'all may be battling with it too, right? I'm just trying to put a word on it because I could put the name on it, say every name should bow to the name of Jesus. So if I name the thing, now I got awareness of the thing. Now I can shape that thing with this. I can shape it because now I've named it and I'm aware of it. And now I named it and aware that I see it. You see what I'm saying? Practical implementation for this week. Make this my weekly practice. Every morning I'm going to write this down. The end I'm building today is blank. Let's just go to the examples. The end I'm building today is stronger customer relationship system. The person I must become today is disciplined, calm, and proactive. The fear that may be trying to control me is FOMO from new leads and FOMU from calling past customers. The line action I will take away is completing my follow-up block before I let the day control me. And at night, I'm going to ask myself, did I live from my fear or from my end? No shame, just correction. Final meaning. Begin with the end in mind gets me out of FOMO and FOMU because it gives my life a destination stronger than distraction and identity stronger than fear. Mm. Hmm. So this deal, the highest version of me does not avoid every mistake. The high version of me uses every mistake as feedback while staying loyal to the mission. So the real breakthrough is this. When I begin with the end in mind, I stop asking fear, what do I do next? I start asking my future self, what choice creates the life I wanted? That's what I'm saying, man. I like this. I like this. The highest version of me does not chase every opportunity. The highest version of me chooses opportunities that match the end that I am building. All right. So that's my question for this week. The question for this week, for the next couple of days, what does begin with the end in mind mean to me in getting out of FOMO or FOMU? And I'm going to be doing that protocol, that asking myself those questions every morning. I'm going to be protecting my time block. Then I'm going to be recapping. No, it's going to be in the 4 quarters, baby. I'm going to be in the 4 quarters. I'm going to be recapping every quarter. That's what I'm going to do, recap every quarter. I like that. Let's see what AI said. I wonder if I can get AI on the line. Let's get AI on the line. Let's see. Hello, are you there? Hello?
Hey there, I'm right here. What's on your mind today?
Hey, I'm trying to understand this FOMO, fear of missing up. What are some strategic ways that I can implement that quickly into my life?
A quick strategy is to set what I'd call a North Star each morning. First, identify one key outcome that matters most to you in the long run, whether it's a personal goal, a professional milestone, or character trait you're developing. Whenever you feel FOMO or fear of messing up creeping in, pause and ask yourself, does this action move me closer to my North Star? If yes, proceed confidently. If not, let it go without regret because you're actively choosing alignment over fear.
Okay, I don't know what question I should be asking you. What question should I ask you, and what's the answer to that question?
Well, if you're not sure, a great question might be, what's one small action I can take today to feel more aligned with who I want to be? The answer is often something small but meaningful, maybe reaching out to an old friend or finishing one thing you've been putting off. And hey, if you ask that question daily, you'll stay in tune with your growth.
Okay. It's a good question, man. A good question. A lot of times it's asking to give you a good question. That's why I like this thing part. I bet if y'all ain't on the AI, y'all know what's going on, bro. I don't know what's going on, and you need on it, just get on it. So my question, that's my question. You already got it. So what's your question? Peace out. Lay it. Woo-hoo!
I just level up the stage. Go, Levier.